Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to be working on a knife project. It's for a friend of mine, it's for his son, and we're going to see how it goes. So on this project we're using a brand new buck knife, buck 110. Standard paperwork that comes with a buck. Sheath, brand new. Put that back in the box because we don't need it right now. Let's open it up and see what we got. It's just your standard buck 110. So we're going to pop it open. We'll split the two sides, back spring. We're going to totally tear this down. Let's get to it. So I'm thinking the best plan of attack for this is come in on the pivot blade, cut the pin, keep moving down, cut the spring pin, and then we'll get down to the two pins at the bottom by the lock. So let's see how that goes. Now I got no idea if this will work. I'm splitting it. Alright, I'll get back to you when I'm through. Alright, so as you can see, we're through the first pin. I can keep driving it. I just don't want to bend this, so I got to be real careful. I got to keep these straight, is I guess the best way to say it. Alright, I'll come back when this is totally broken apart. Alright, so with a little bit of determination, you can get through those pins. It's not a bad... Looks like you got a stainless and then 3 brass pins. Here you got your back spring, your locking spring. Yeah, blade. Let's finish taking it apart and we'll go from there. Alright, so here's an update. I got it all apart. Scales off, which there was 0 adhesive on these. It was just these 3 pins for the scale pins holding it in, and then the spring pin. Here's the kicker. This is my second go around. The first time I got a little too aggressive trying to drive out the pivot pin and snapped it right off that bolster. And they're machined into the liner. That's all one piece. So, whatever. Got another knife. We're on our way. So what we're gonna do, sorry about the shaky camera. What we're gonna do is we're gonna peel these off, stick them to the new scales that I just cut up, cut them out, get them to fit inside in between 2 bolsters, and glue them in. I'll bring you back when we got that done. Alright, I'm going to try it a different way than I normally do. Normally I'll double tape one scale on each side and do them individually. This time I ran double tape down the middle and on one side, cut it out, sand it, and they should be the same. Alright, be back. Alright, so we got those set in there. Still have to glue them. And again, sorry about the shaky footage, but set it up in the tripod and all that just takes too long. So I'll glue this, let it set, glue clamp. And we'll come in. We're going to re-drill these holes to something slightly larger. And then here's your spring pin. So, alright, bring it back. Hey guys, so it's the next day. I let the glue dry overnight. I drilled out the pinholes for the scales. They were 5/30 seconds. I kicked them up to 3/30 seconds. Just to add a little more. Plus, I don't have any 5/30 second pins anymore. So we're going to insert the pins. Drill out the spring the spring pin. And go from there. I drilled these out to 3/30 seconds. They were 5/30 seconds. I don't have any 5/30 seconds pins, so I drilled them out to 3s. I'm going to attach that, and then I'll drill out the spring pin hole on each side, clean them up, countersink them, and we'll go from there. I let these dry overnight. I drilled out the 3/30 second pinholes for the scales. I still have to drill out the spring hole, but right now I'm just countersinking the scale holes. You don't have to go deep with this. Just enough that the pin will sit in there and really grab it. Now, like I said, there was no adhesive on these from Buck. When I grounded off the original pins, it just the old ebony just popped right off. So what we're gonna do now, grab an 1/8 inch drill out the drill out the spring holes, and we'll go from there. So I've got my pins here. I took them to the sander and chamfered them so they go into the pinholes easier. And what I did was, I have a hole drilled in my bench. I just put it there and tap them in. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive these through further, just like that. Cut them short, or not cut them short, cut them shorter, and peen them to hold this scale on. Now I do this before I haft it, because if you look, this is longer. That's fine. Than the bolster. It's taller than the bolster. That's fine. The glue is what's holding it on. So by cutting these shorter, peening them a little bit, sand, peen, sand, you're actually working them together. All right. So I've pushed my pins in a little bit. Take my diagonals, flush cutters, just cut them flush. Good luck finding that pin. Okay, now I'm going to sand it all down. Alright, so I'm going to peen the inside of the frame. You can see where the countersinking really helps, because that mushroomed head just goes right in there. So then when you sand them, they're just amazingly smooth. They won't impede with the operation of the knife. Okay, now I'm going to take it to the sander and sand this side. Alright, so this side's sanded down, and you can see the pins from the peening have expanded inside the resin. They will hold, and this is flush. These are flush. I'm going to sand this down too, clean this up, but we'll go from there. Alright, so I finished peening those over and rough sanding them in. I cleaned up the inside of the bolsters. Just 400 grit, real quick. But, I mean, they didn't turn out too bad. So now I'm going to do the finish sanding, which is round the corners, or bevel the corners. Clean up the bolsters. And then we'll start putting it back together. And right there is where I lost rest of the footage. So we'll just keep moving on. I'll add some stills like right here. This is where I put the pins in. There's the spring pin. I've already sanded it down. Yeah, I don't think it turned out too bad. Now Henry, this one's for you, buddy. Don't let your dad try to pressure you out of it. It's yours. No trading with him either.